Yo, yo, folks. What we got on here? Tyler? What y'all up to? So, sweet potato pie. Shut my mouth. Sweet potato pie. Shut my mouth. Uh, Rich, what's up? Not much. I'm fixing to take these little uh, uh, gooey eyeballs off these Strike Kings, which is a pleasure to actually do. So, I'm not complaining. I love Strike Kings to get repainted because the eyes are so gooey and easy to remove. They're they're a joy. So uh, these will not be for me though. These will be for another tackle enthusiast. Some of you may know. Hella. So the bean had this little wand and she was putting spells on me. And she'd say, abracadabra, turn dada into, and she'd pause. And the first time she did it, she said, a sweet potato. It's like, where do kids come up with this stuff? So last night, whenever she'd put the spell on me, I'd be like, whatever I was doing, I'd like stop and freeze. And then she'd say, abracadabra, turn data back into data. And then I'd be normal again. It's like red light, green light. And last night I flipped the script on her, got the wand, and said, abracadabra, turn bean into a sweet potato. And she went, no, dada, no. She said, turn bean into an avocado. I was like, what? And I couldn't understand it because she kind of, talks like a 2.5-year-old. And she said, turn bean into an avocado. I was like, can we turn you into an avocado? And she's like, yes. So we turned her into a avocado last night. But we got a good sent the video to the family group text. Everybody got a good laugh out of that. Deadeye getting turned into a sweet potato and bean turned into an avocado. What a great fruit to be transformed into, or vegetable, whatever it is. But so my dad asked me a couple days uh, uh, ago, Marty, not yet. It's hard for me to get tired of it. But my dad asked me. He was like, I was reading on the internet, and this guy said split rings are garbage on the front of your bait. And I was like, what? He's like, yeah, on like topwaters and stuff. And I was like, this guy's an idiot. I was like, who is this person? He was like, Ott Defoe. And I was like, he said, don't use split rings on the front. And he was like, yeah. He said, fish twist and they get leverage on your bait with a split ring on the front. Well, this whole time he was confused as to how he was like explaining this situation, and it wasn't a split ring on the front; it was a split ring on the hooks. Because he later was like, "Give me a hook, let me show you." I'm like, "Are we talking about hooks or are we talking about the front?" And he's like, "We're talking about hooks." I was like, "Well, you had me convinced that you're talking about the front of the bait." He's like, "No, no, no, the hooks." He's like, "Let me show you." So he rigged up this braid split ring, and I was like, "Oh yeah, dude's been doing that in the swim bait world for a long time." That's nothing new in the big bait game. Um, and he's like, "This guy says he does it to all his baits, even his crankbaits." I was like, "Well, Ott must have an insane amount of free time to sit around and tie braid to all of his treble hooks on all the baits he plans to throw. Especially if he's in a tournament type situation. Is he going to sit down and cut his braid off and then tie new braided split rings onto his crankbait? I just find that hard to believe because we all have a lot of stuff that we pay for. So you have pros that are, they have all their baits that they bought coming up and are still buying, plus baits that their sponsors give them. So they have like triple our tackle and carry probably twice as much with them. And I just don't see a guy. I just don't see that happening. Like, it's a good concept. I appreciate that part of it, but it just doesn't seem very functional as far as, or very. It's like a. To me, it's like a. Like one of those like fad diets. You know what I mean? Like it makes sense and it works, and I'm losing weight. The only difference is, or the only problem is, I have to eat cotton balls and ice cubes for dinner. I don't think I can. I don't think I can maintain that for the rest of my life. So you fall off the bus and you go back to eating normal. But I could see changing out some. Like if Hella, if you had your like one go-to vixen that you always throw, and you had it and then like a backup for it, or you cycled through like 4 top waters, putting braided split rings on it, sure, that makes sense. Because you're not going to be changing hooks that often, probably. It's going to be a situational kind of bait. But if you're talking about going through all your baits, that's a lot. Worth makes great everything, Travis. I mean, they make, best ball bearing swivel there is. I would assume that all of their split rings and things of that nature are good. Their spinnerbait blades are really good. Insanely expensive. I think they might make Hildebrandt's blades, because if you look in a Worth catalog, like, their finish looks just like a Hildebrandt. I don't know if they manufacture those themselves or what the deal is with the Worth company, but they have exceptional quality, always have, especially if they're making Hildebrandt blades. I've never bought any. Wanted to buy bulk rings. Yeah, that would be. I would think they would be a trustworthy source. See, it's. I'm picky about split rings. That would be something hard for me to buy unseen in bulk. And I've done it, but I got to sample first. And but I would sample them first to make sure they were exactly what you want. Tyler, they are not. They will be up this afternoon. They're actually drying right now. I did the little clear water shed. It looks badass. It looks like it's marbled. Like it just looks like a marbled finish across the whole bait. Um, but I did. I put a flat clear coat on it. Um, Travis, it seems like anytime this would be a tip for anybody buying in bulk. It seems like anytime I buy in bulk, I get excited, and there's always something I overlook. Like I think I've got everything nailed down, and I'm like, all right, this is what I want, and I make the purchase, and then I get them, and I'm like, wait a minute, how did I miss this? How did I miss this key feature? Um, I can't find 4.5 gold Oklahoma blades anywhere but eBay, and they aren't cheap. Uh, how particular are you about the finish? Like, do you want them like jewelry store gold, like Hildebrandt style? Or are you okay with like lesser? Thank you, Tyler. They will be up in a little while. Once I get them, which I could probably take pictures of them now, but I'll let them sit out. I've got them sitting out in the sun, baking a little bit. Uh, Tyler, did you see that picture I posted last night of that native gill, the red one? What was wrong with him, Travis? Tyler over here on Instagram says the owner hyperwires are the only rings he buys, and you say you were not impressed with the owner hyperwires you last bought. What gives? Um, I'll even go lesser as hammered brass. This man don't give a shit. He just needs an Oklahoma. Just get Travis to take some off of all of his old Terminators. What happened to Terminator? Tyler, it's not going to Rayburn. I wish it were, because I would like to see what that bait would do uh, in trap water, in hybrid hunter water. AJ, those baits did look great on the flea market. Summer boat flipping fish, I was baiting them out. Number twos. Ouch. Uh, I have had smaller hyper wires on 110s that stood up to bull reds, good enough for any bass. Maybe Travis is just a bull. Travis is just a bull in a china shop. He needs quad rings. Uh, AJ, I didn't get my split rings from Brian, if that's the one you're using. Um, I got mine by potluck. There was a person from China that was emailing me and saying, "Hello, Stanley." They always call me Stanley. Said, "Hello, Stanley," and I had reached out to them about uh, about getting some like packaging or something plastic paper related, maybe patches. I can't remember what it was. It was something in that realm. And this person reached out to me after our conversation kind of went stale a month or two later and said, "Hello, Stanley. How are you? Is there anything else you need that I could help you with? Just ask." I said, "Yeah, I need some damn split rings." I said, "What are those?" I showed him a picture. I said, I want them this diameter. I want them this thick. And I want them black." I said, "Hold, please." I said, "Okay." And dude, it wasn't like the next day I got an email. It's like, "These them?" It's like, "Those are them." I said, "How many do you want?" I said, 30,000. I said, "Okay." Or I think the minimum was like 20,000. I was like, "Send me 30." Uh, so I need to call them back and get different sizes. I don't know if they have different sizes. I don't know if I call them back if they can even get these again. I don't know who they got them from, but I love them. I love them. I hope they know who they got them from and they're still in business. But I would like to have a bigger size and I would like to have a smaller size uh, in those split rings. So, and then I would I'd probably like to put some like 100 packs on the website just for people to get because they're good rings, um, really good rings. And I talked about with AJ last night. Um, I've been having issues lately. Um, if I wanted to tie my own jig skirt or anything like that, um, all the old colors I used to use are no longer available. So I was wondering, do the majority of y'all A, change your skirts at all, or do you just buy a jig with a skirt you like and flip it? B, do you buy pre-banded, put together skirts and then put those on your jigs? Or C, do you take buy your own pads in individual colors and then make your own skirts? I think I put fours on the ones I was testing, Burns. Wonder if that's going to make a difference. I personally would buy the pads and make my own. Everybody buys pads. See, Tyler makes his own. Me's Paul. Gray, I got some coming. I'm thinking about driving to his house and getting his CNC machine. Thinking about making a weekend trip. Should have hounded you before I spent $60 on rings a couple years ago. Yeah, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of rings, bro. That is a lot of rings. Um, John Connor. That's what I like. I like springing questions on Amy, like movie line trivia. And we were somewhere, and there was like a picture of like a kid, and I went, "Have you seen this boy?" Name the movie, and she was like, "Oh, what is that?" I was like, "Come on, dude, you serious?" She's like, "I know it." I was like, "There was a California governor in it." She was like, "What?" I was like, "Terminator, dude." Um, tabs, got to tie and wire those things. So everybody makes their own. So that would be I would need to get pads made, not pre-made skirts. What if though? What if the pre-made skirts were sexier than anything your mind could wrap itself around? Then would it make a difference? Um, Tyler, you take a box with skirts on the water. That's impressive. I'll be back. Well, I'm thinking about ordering in limited quantities just all the old skirt colors that I want back that people don't have anymore. So that's what I'm planning on doing. That's what I'm planning on doing. All right, let's see here. I'll see how many. I think the key though is Dickie D. We can't talk about that. We can't talk about that. One of them is probably something you would least expect, and there's a lot of colors that they don't make that I would love to have. You only need 3 colors: green pumpkin, black and blue, and black and magic crawl. No brown. No brown and orange. It would be hard for me to give up brown and orange early in the year. But the rest of the time, and I've got actually, I've got a lot. Or someone would make a brown skirt and a black and blue skirt again. Are you super picky about your blues? I used to be really anal about the color of blue. Like just regular blue wouldn't work. It had to be the Nature's Edge blue. No PB&J. Definitely not PB&J. I don't know. Got to be sapphire blue. That's right. It's got to be that bright, like flipping blue. Like the green pumpkin blue that Boss made. Boss actually made some great jig skirts. I have like every blue imaginable in this box. So I would do like a couple strands of this like lighter kind of sapphire blue. And then at times I would go to this one, which is like a barbed wire, darker blue. Then I got this little light blue with black innards. And then I've got this like gray blue. And then I've got this other kind of flashy gray blue, brownie. That one's really good. That's probably one of my favorites. You can see it turn kind of brown, but I don't know. With the tiny flakes, let's see. This color is really good. It's like a magic crawl green pumpkin, barbed wired. But that's pretty much my jig box. But I got a bunch over here. This was my favorite. This was like the perfect blue to me. This one's got like holographic glitter in it, which kind of I use this one to make like a to make the reaction color penetration. But I don't know. I don't know that they still make half of these. I know they probably make that one, the Nature's Edge, but these ones with the weird flakes, I don't know that they make. I need to make me a couple of jigs that match the soft poppy raw sweet beaver. That one. I guess hang on. Here's a whole box of skirts. I guess I need to go through this first and figure out what I got. Like, what do I need this much yellow for? Yeah, it is a good looking orange. I searched far and wide to find that orange Dickie D. Like, what does anybody need a million school bus yellow skirts for? Oh, here's one I got boned on. Oh, the girls are here. Hot girls are here. Woohoo! Yay! Thank you for stopping by. I got boned on this one. So I bought these from 6 cents. And the color was called Bone. And I was like, finally, somebody made a bone skirt. Dude, I got heavy on the add to cart. So I started stacking them up. And I get them in. And they're not bone. They're freaking gold. And I started looking at it and I was like, what do I need like 1,000 gold skirts for? So here they are in a produce bag, just sitting in the bottom of this bag. Uh-oh. I guess I got plenty of that. Plenty of that blue to last me a while. Color 504. You and that Tannic down there, Dickie D. You need some of these golds, bro? I got plenty of gold. And it's a nice, like, iridescent, translucent gold. It's not real it's not like in your face gold. But I used to have a really, really, really good time making spinnerbait skirts, swim jig skirts, jig skirts. Here's the black. That's what I used to match it with. The holographic black with that holographic blue. It was my reaction penetration attempt. Oh, there we go. Get them some love. Uh, Code 504. They should have called it New Orleans Blues. But I thought this color was going to be the end all be all for. I'm sure they don't make this one anymore. Number 328 from Skirts Unlimited, aka FishingSkirts.com. It's like a banana. I thought this was going to be the end all be all for my natural crawfish belly color. And I never caught shit on this color. It's like, I'm gonna throw some orange and some reds and browns in there and just make like a really natural looking crawfish belly with that. Nah, I never could make it look right. Never could make it look right. When I went to Kentucky Lake back in the day, I knew everybody up there threw plum, like a plum Old Monster, and actually everybody throws a plum Old Monster everywhere. And I was trying to think outside the box for ledge fish that had constantly been pounded by Old Monsters and things of that nature. And I started thinking, I was like, you know what? You know what I bet nobody's doing? Is throwing a damn plummy looking big jig, big football head jig. So before I went, I got some 3/4 ounce football heads, and I like mop tied it, made it real long, and put a piece of an Old Monster on there, and I was throwing that out on the ledges in about 2010. That would have been 2009. No, it would have been before that because that's when I got my boat. So it would have been like 2007 or 8. But I did crack them on it, believe it or not. That was actually Dickie D. Makes plum jigs and then just flips bushes. You could have. Actually, flipping wasn't that great. You couldn't get those fish at the time into May 1st to June. The fish in the bushes did not want to eat anything that was near the bottom. You could swim a jig a little bit and catch them, but they really were all looking up the bush fish. So you could, a lot of guys would miss that bite, especially like in the middle of the day. And the water was shallow; it was clear. You should have been able to possibly see some, but yeah, those fish were goofy, but you could catch them. Tim, how's it going? Also, the white Berkley Power Skirts are bone, not white. I'm looking for the amber color Strike King used in the black brown amber jigs in 2008ish. They completely changed it and no one has it anymore. Dustin, you probably need to talk to Josh over here at Tato Designs. I think he is the amber jig skirt guru. He might can tell you where the amber from the 2008 Strike King era could be found, and he also likes playing in bushes. Dickie D, it was really, really, really amazing. Um, like I said, the first time I went up there, I was I went with my buddy Young as his observer for the Triton Elite tournament, and we went out and fished the ledges for about 10 minutes, and he said, "Screw this, Stanley. We're going to the bank." It's like, all right. So he was throwing a net bait. Skirts Plus made it. He said he was throwing a net bait, little swim bait. That was kind of like a skinny dipper, but net bait's version. He was throwing that, and I was throwing a solid yellow Spro Bronza, and it was clear after making a couple passes around the bushes that the Bronza was the deal. Um, and like we were probably catching like 30 plus fish a day. We were catching enough fish on a Bronza a day that are like you might make it from the start of the day. You might finish the day with that frog, but the odds are you were gonna something was gonna tear on that frog. Like you catch enough fish on it that your frogs would wear out in a day. Um, and color really didn't seem to matter. I stuck with the yellow or some variation of something with yellow on it, and that seemed to get bit better than like black or white. But when we got back, we had some guys from Kentucky or Tennessee staying by us, and like the first day of the tournament, they were like, "What y'all have?" I said, "We had 17." And we're like, were they were them ledge fish acting goofy? I'm like, we didn't ledge fish. They're like, "Nah, you didn't catch 17 shallow." I'm like, "Yeah, we did." And these dudes had it in their mind that, and they were locals, so it made sense. They had it in their mind that like, and we only had 17. It's not like we were leading the damn tournament. Like 25 was leading. This is when Rodney Brown was on his tear, and but they had it in their brain that you couldn't catch like 15 to 18 pounds in the bushes. And I was like, dude, y'all are nuts. They thought we were like bullshitting them. I was like, y'all are nuts, dude. Like, you can go catch 40 in the bushes right now. I'm like, nah, nah. And nobody was doing it. I mean, I guess we were never going to win, but like the dude I was fishing with, he wasn't going to win out there on the ledges because that wasn't his thing. So we just did what normal Alabama guys would do: go to the bank. And so I went back the next year. I qualified, and I went and I took my dad as my observer, and we launched the boat at the same place and at Buchanan's. And I launched the boat, wheeled around, and I went straight up into the pocket at Buchanan's. In the first bush, I skipped a frog under. I caught a 4 pounder, and I went, but it was like skinny. It looked like shit. I was like, hmm. It's like I really don't want to get caught up in this again, but this is bigger than anything we caught last time. So we I went out and I was like, I'm not going to fish the bank because I know I'm going to get destroyed fishing the bank. So hello, my sweet. Um, so I went out and fished. Started marking ledges, and that's a whole nother story. Let me get to some of these comments. Um, Most all the older guys in my local club are better flippers than I am, but I am not too bad. I'm just trying to maintain my muscle memory. You got to be able to flip a jig if you're going to do anything here in North Carolina. I'm just trying to hang in there. It's good. It's a good. It's a good notch to have in your belt, for sure. Um, I don't know anybody that flips an actual jig, like pull string on a jig anymore. Hardly. I feel like that's really, really archaic. Like I know plenty of people flip grass, pull string on grass with a beaver, but pulling string on a jig, I feel like is very top 150 Brower. Uh, what don't you have any good ones of? Um, oh yeah, send Burns the screenshot. He'll probably get a kick out of that. Uh, I don't know. I hope guys are still out there flipping jigs. Is that going to be a thing of the past in a couple years? Is the jig going to go away with the advancement of technology? Is the flipping jig going to disappear? Bassmaster should do an event where they bring all the old guys back and make them fish with the shit from the early 90s. That would be awesome. That would be awesome. Bring Zell back and give him his old All Stars and his his Topwater Special and his Pop R's and some Rebel We R's and give Nixon his Ditto Worms. It would really, and then like, because they've got all that stuff. The jig is going nowhere. It's too good. Jig will never die. Uh, Hank Parker with the spinnerbait. The interesting thing to me uh, would be you would have to do an in-depth uh, tackle tour with each angler. Give them 30, give them like each their own 30-minute segment, and be like, here's like show us what you picked, because they've got all that shit stuffed away in their garage. Uh, Nothing I fish is shallow enough or has heavy enough cover to flip old school. Used to do it a lot in college. Uh, yeah, it's like hand-to-hand combat is fun. It is fun. There's nothing like wrestling a fish out of a gnarly tree or weeds or whatever, something thick. I wonder what the perfect lake would be. Oh, speaking of Bassmasters, I get a notification from Bassmasters on YouTube about 10 times a day that says Bassmaster Premiere this. Does anybody watch that stuff? Like I look at it and I'm like, I don't even know what this is. Or it's like Bassmaster Premiere of, some tournament from like a month ago or 2 months ago or 6 months ago. And I don't watch any of it because I don't know what it is. Like I don't know what they're doing. Um, Kyle Downey, where do you say? That's funny. When I made the same move, I was learning how to throw a deep flipping is pitching what I was first taught after graduating from Zebco to an open face. That's pretty early. Goodbye, my sweet. The Bassmaster redfish thing? No, I keep hearing about it, but um, I don't. I don't. Seems like a waste of resources to me. But um, I don't know what they're planning to do with the redfish thing. I think you could do so much cooler stuff. Like you said, get all those old timers back and let them hammer it out for a little while, and get all their bring all their old baits. And the good thing about it is they're probably some of them aren't like it would be great if none of them had sponsor obligations still, uh, so they could just like freely get whatever they wanted, like that they had the most confidence in out of their box, and didn't have to be like, oh, this is George Cochran out there still pumping his little Mister Money like he's been doing for damn 50 years. Um, but Dickie D says, unpopular opinion, but the redfish are the carp of the Gulf. The carp tastes like ass. Can you eat a carp? Can you fillet skin on carp and grill it and it tastes delicious? JP, what's up, dude? Um, all right. What am I doing here? 117. Not interested in redfish. It's called Bassmaster for a reason. Agreed. Redfishing is only fun when they're on the end of your line. That's fun. Watching some bass dick try to be a red fisherman, I'll pass. They're only good on the end of your line or in your stomach. I've never caught a carp. Do they pull? Do they pull like a redfish? Not sure why people eat redfish when you have specks. I don't know. It's two different. They serve two different flavor palettes that I'm looking for. Sometimes I want. Uh, Sometimes I'm in the mood for trout. Sometimes I'm in the mood for a big old slab of redfish grilled on the grill. Um, Mullet's good. I do like mullet. Ground mullet is delicious. Um, Snooks are the carp of the sea. Uh, Carp are a good time. I only eat them scored. Take a mangrove snapper over all that. I'll take a red snapper throat over anything. That's my favorite piece of fish meat. And if I'm going second, I'm going beeliner, which I guess is that considered kind of mangrove snapperish? Or kind of are, but a little different. Um, the throat. Yep. Yep. It's right there on a snapper. you cut between where his gills flare and where his pec fins are, and it's kind of like a cavity, and you like dig it out of there with like a little fork, or you can like gnaw around on it, but it's delicious. It's like lobster, dude. You grill that and just like soak it in butter. Use beeliners for grouper bait, dude. My I had a guy that I think he thought he was like, he was being nice, but he thought he was also like uh, getting rid of some of his trash fish. And he's like, "Hey, you want some fish?" I was like, "Yeah." I said, "What'd y'all do?" And he said, "Oh, we went snapper fishing." I was like, "Oh." Um, he's like, "We got it. It's already filleted in bags. Just come get you some." And he handed me 2 bags of fish, and I said, "What is this? Is this snapper?" He's like, "Nah." He's like, "That's beeliners." And I was like, "Oh, okay, whatever." They're cleaned and ready to go. So I went home and cooked these beeliners, and it was like the most delicious thing ever. So I went and started looking up the creel of beeliners, and it was like unlimited. And I was like, why are all these assholes that going out here complaining about like uh, the feds screwing up snapper season and only letting you catch 2 snappers for like a weekend out of the year, when you have these delicious beeliners swimming around everywhere and there's no limit on them? I said, I'd rather have these things. So beeliner is a snapper. They're all good. That's right, JP. They are all good. Uh, Chris probably is similar. I've never heard of snapper wings, but I'm 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 not sure what else you could eat on a snapper, but it looks like wings. Um, I went from, we're talking about rods or reels you graduated from. I think I went from Zebco to Ambassador 5500. Um, and I remember uh, we were down at the beach. I was probably like 10, 10 or 11. And I had only used a Zebco up until this point. And my dad, we were staying at our friend's beach house, and my dad had brought down his fishing gear to do a little offshore fishing, and or like wade fishing out in the surf. And he brought a couple rods and reels, and I said, I want to learn how to use this bait caster. And he was like, all right. He was like, it's not easy. And I was like, I didn't ask if it was easy. I want to know how to do it. So he gave me the rod and reel, and you know, if you're at the beach, the wind is always blowing. So I waited out there, and I'm standing in the Gulf, like up to here, and I've got my Ambassador 5500. Wow, backlashes. Shit. So, dude, I must have sat out there for 2 hours picking out a backlash, pick out a backlash, but literally learned how to use a bait caster in one day in the Gulf, waiting. All it took was just throwing into the wind for a couple hours and getting the getting the hang of it. But after that, I was good. But I always wanted low profile reels because that's what all the Bass Pros were using. Um, but because my dad wasn't like a inshore guy, and I didn't have any money, I was just using what he had. Um, all my reels were round 5500s. I couldn't. We didn't even have a 4500 like Hank Parker style, or 3500, whatever they were, the little small round ones. Um, all we had was 5500s. And so for the majority of my fishing life, I used the Ambassador 5500 until I was old enough to like buy a reel or get a reel for my birthday or something. And I still didn't get the first nice reel I got was a Calcutta 200 um, silver, and that was like you would have thought like as much as I yearned to have a low profile reel so I could be like Bill Dance and all these other pros that I would have when it was time for me to get a nice reel I would have like sprung for a low profile reel. I didn't. I went with the Calcutta. Still got it. It's over here somewhere. But that was a good one. That was a good one. And then I think after I had that Calcutta, and then I had a bunch of 5500s that I used. And then once it was like time for me to start buying reels, because my dream was always to have matching rod and reel combos, just like the pros. That was like that was the end all be all to me. I thought that was like heaven on earth would be to get in your tackle room or your boat and to just have all matching combos, like same reel, same rod brand. And I had it in my mind. I was like, all right, let's let's do that. So that didn't happen until like much later, till I started getting my Powells and my E7s. But before that, it was a hodgepodge of 200 Corrados and just every rod manufacturer under the planet. Um, but still got all my E7s, still got all my Powells. What time is it? 1:30. All right. Bulls are fun to catch. My first redfish was a bull at 11 years old, 44.8 pounds, caught on a low profile Black Max on 30-pound Gorilla braid. Wow. That's a monster, dude. Deadly with the egg beater. I didn't make the jump from from Zebco to spinning reel to baitcaster. That was kind of like playing an acoustic guitar for me. The spinning reel is an acoustic is the acoustic guitar of the fishing world. Just kind of lame. Like there's people that do cool stuff with them. It's not for me. You know what I mean? Like I want to rock. I want an amp, pickups, distortion. I want to make noise, power. It's the baitcaster. South Jersey, what's up, dude? Um, Cobia, aka Ling. Those are good. Oh, you're calling a cobia lemonfish. The same part walleye wings. I should caught my first border 2 years ago. It's popular fish on the North Carolina coast. Um, I used a spin cast and then a Shimano Bantam. We catch like 75% of our fish on a spinner pole. I mean, Dickie D, if you probably poll college kids, there's probably 75% playing acoustic guitar that get laid. You know what I mean? Some kid shows up to a party. He's not pulling out his Marshall stack and his you know flying V and dragging girls out of the party. No, he's on that damn shitty ass acoustic playing John Mayer songs. Exactly, whatever gets the work done, however you want to do it, however you want to do it. That just wasn't. It just wasn't for me. Spinning reels. I still have on one combo. Playing Wonderwall. Your Body is a Wonderland was the one back in my college days. That if you wanted to serenade some Betties, that's the one you pulled out of your hat. Um, Sally would not work well on the egg beater. That is for sure. Uh, did your love for the acoustic come from Animal House? Where he breaks over that dude's head. Isn't that what he did? I have uh, I have very skewed memories of Animal House, and I've seen it probably 20 times, but I can never remember anything from it. Um, TK secretly drops shots with egg beaters and won't admit it. I do. I was about to look and see what I had on my spinning rod, but I don't know where it is, and I'm not panicking. Um, Spinning gear when Burns was a spinning rod egg beater man until he started building cranks. Then he was forced to come to the power. Um, Tim, I go in spurts. Uh, Now we've got the baby sleeping in our room, and I can't lay in bed and annoy Amy at night and play guitar until midnight, so I don't. Dickie D, you would be 100% correct. Except it's not the wood handle one. It's the generation after that. I did want the wood handle one though. I used to play for drinks when I was in early 20s. That was a pretty good deal. Um, and my spinning rod is like a broomstick. Still build teeny balsa for the spinning gear. I can't. I've tried when you're coming up and you're reading about or you're watching these Bassmaster tournaments and it's early in the year and Mark Davis is on the front of the boat and he goes and he flips the bail and he's throwing like a Shimano Shad Rap on a spinning rod. And I'm like, no way, dude. But they talk it up to where they've got you convinced that it's the way. When it's tough in the cold water, you pull out the spinning pole and you throw a damn Shad Rap on it if you want to get bit. And I was like, damn it, I'm gonna have to try this. So I got my little spinner pole out. I think at that time I didn't have a Stratic. I had a um, AJ. What was the name of that spinning reel? Um, the cheaper Shimano, the Stratic. No, not the Stratic. The what was it called? It sounded like Stratic. Hold on, I gotta go look. Spyrex. Spyrex. It was the Spyrex. That's right. Um, the Spyrex with the double handle. Um, so I tried that and I just couldn't. I think it's because the reels were so strangely balanced that they would wobble and it's like wobbling trying to like crank it. Like I don't know. It was just weird. Um, So I never could get the hang of spinning rod and hard baits. Um, Double handle spinning reels make my stomach hurt. Oh, that was the way of the world back then. If I saw two handles, I'm like, uh, yeah, I want this reel. I mean, isn't this like a way better value? Like I can buy this shitty reel over here that has one handle, or I can get the Spyrex. It's got two handles. Give me the double. Give me the double. Am I the only one that sees big Mark Davis throwing a fairy one and thinks that's just wrong? It is odd looking, that's for sure. Um, Marty from South Louisiana, his stumping grounds, Hammond, Covington, Abita, but was finesse fishing, not power fishing. Um, the Spyrex tricked me into thinking it was a bait caster. Good point. Probably did. Probably did. And I probably flipped it upside down. Here's a question I have for you, spinning reel enthusiasts. Do you have the reel handle on the same side as your bait casters? Me personally, I use right-handed reels and reel like this. Reel with my right hand, cast with my left, reel, cast, reel, cast. So I don't switch hands. I know some people cast with their right hand, put it into their left hand, and then reel with their right hand. I don't do that. I cast with my left arm and then immediately begin reeling. But with a spinning rod, I cast with my right arm and then reel with my left. It doesn't feel right if I set it up like a bait caster, which is the strangest thing ever. Cali Bass Kid has them on opposite sides. Dickie D has it on opposite sides. Um, Hella does the same side, right-handed. Mainly use casting right-hand retrieval and using spinning is on the left. Okay, so it seems like the majority of people are on the opposite side. AJ reels opposite sides. JP Harrell uses a right-handed bait caster but a left-handed spinning reel. Um, I don't understand it. I do not understand that. How it feels so weird when you have the bait casting muscle memory like so ingrained in your fiber that you would think it would. I guess it's because it's not a bait caster. Like it feels so weird. I mean, it's another reason not to use a spinning rod reel, because it's not natural. Something about the handle on a spinning reel being low below the rod that makes it feel weird in my right hand. Not the case with casting. Yeah, I think I can't explain it. Can't explain it. Hella is the only alien here that has the same setup as his bait casters. Hella, how is fishing on Mars? You reel a casting reel with your wrist and you reel a spinning reel with your arm. But your reeling arm, wrist, whole side of your body should be more in tune to making that rotation, whether it's with your wrist or your arm. Like it should. I don't know. When I see someone up here with a right-handed spinning reel, I know they are from below the Mason-Dixon and use braid. Not being a lemming is not for everyone. Most people also switch hands with a baitcaster. This is very true. You know what that is? All playing instruments is muscle memory repetition. Yep. Well, maybe we'll crack that code one day. I don't know that it can be cracked. Left-handed dudes are the weirdest. Where's Eric? Dude, I was so disappointed. I was talking to Eric like last year, year before or something, and he was like, "I think I'm going to do a reel purge." I'm like, "What?" And he's like, "I think I'm ready to get rid of some reels." I'm like, "Some old Shimano's?" And he's like, "Yeah." I was like, "You have a core?" And he's like, "Yeah." I was like, "You have E7s?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Do you have this?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I was like, "All right, let's make a deal." And he's like, "Let me see what I got." He started going through them, and he sent me a picture of one. And I was like, "Did you take that picture in a mirror?" He's like, "No, why?" He's like, "Are you left-handed?" And he's like, "Yeah." I was like, "God, dude, get out of here with that shit." He's like, "What?" It's like, "You got all this good stuff, and it's on the wrong side." Juice Newton, what's up? Can't cast left-handed to save my life, but I can hit a damn golf ball from either side. That's even weirder, Burns. If you can swing a golf club either-handed, that's very odd. Dickie D pitches with his left arm and casts with his right. That's odd too. Um, I remember when I thought a Shimano Bantam Magnum Light was the greatest reel. It was, Chris. Uh, um, AJ, I don't know if you've ever heard me talk about this, but I'm really confused uh, when it comes to things of that nature. Like I play the guitar right-handed, I airbrush right-handed, I write left-handed, uh, I play golf left-handed, um, I shoot a gun right-handed, I shoot a basketball right-handed, I throw left-handed, I use right-handed bait casting reels, left-handed spinning reels, um, like you name it, and I'm backwards. Like when I first went to get fitted for a guitar, like to buy a guitar, um, the guy, I told my mom, I was like, I want a guitar. And it took like months of convincing her that I was actually going to like continue to play it. And she was like, fine, let's go get one. Um, so I went to non-binary Handery, correct. So we went to the Andy's Music actually. And no, it wasn't Andy's. It was the Music Exchange, which is no longer in existence, I don't think. But we went down there and told the guy, "Hey, kid's 12. He wants to play the guitar." And he said, "What hand do you write with?" I said, "I write with my left hand." And he said, "All right." Um, and he went and found like a left-handed guitar, and he was like, "All right, how's this feel?" And it was an acoustic. And he was like, "How's this feel?" And I sat down and like I was playing. I would have been playing it like this. And I was like, "It feels weird." And he's like, "Well, you've never played a guitar." I was like, "Yeah, but it still feels weird." And I was looking up at all the guitars, and I was like, "What's that white one?" He's like, "That's an electric." I was like, "That's okay." He's like, "I want that one." He's like, "I'll see how it feels." So he brought me the white Lotus Stratocaster, all white Hendrix Lotus Strat. Set it down, felt right. I was like, "All right, this is it." He's like, "You're a righty," and I was like, "I guess. I don't know." It just felt normal. Um, I use both at times. Use left-handed reels for flipping and pitching, so not to have to switch hands. Most right-handed now. Yeah, I think that was a wasn't that a Jay Yellis thing? Didn't Jay Ellis uh try to put that on the map where you like pitch with certain handed reels? Like he had both reels on his deck. Juice, yeah, we were Beetlejuice. Um, but anyway, all right, I gotta go get these baits. I gotta get these baits sanded. Um, Series 4 Strike Kings. Later, Dickie D. If y'all are into these, we might have some for the Epic Eric Bass Lab. Don't know colors yet. If you have colors that you would prefer your Strike King Series 4 to be, uh, blast blast me or Eric. That's interesting, South Jersey. AJ learned to pitch with his left hand. I think the arm motion I could do. It's the thumbing of the spool that I would have problems with. Like it's my hand that feels weird. Like the motion is very I could get behind, but it's the thumb. Um, Tim, send me a picture of that thing. Yeah, my first guitar was a Lotus. It's in pieces right now. I kind of want to put it back together, but with like really good hardware and change the pickups, like change everything about it, but just like make it nice. Um, Denny said that as well because the bite could happen while switching hands. I think maybe that got instilled in my brain that from here to here you might get a bite and miss it. But I got so much slack in my big game, it doesn't matter anyway. I could have my rod directly engraved into my heart and it wouldn't matter. There's a highly touted high school QB who throws the ball equally as well with both hands. That's an interesting trait. I cannot throw a football with my right arm. Dustin Taylor's goal for next year is to be able to cast and skip with both hands. That would be pretty beneficial. Depends on which way you're going in a boat. Oh, I bought a suede strap back in the day, Tim, because I thought they looked awesome. And then come to find out, they grab your shirt, and that really bothered me. So I like the seatbelt style because they slide. I do have a badass leather strap though. It's really thick, and it's got a snake engraved on it. I have to send you a picture of that one. That one's really good. It's really nice strap. Um, really useful as a correct? Correct. All right, dudes. I'm out of here. Y'all be good. have a good weekend. We'll probably talk maybe later this afternoon when I get the baits put up. I'll do a little what bridge and pickups would you go with, TK? I'm um, not really that picky. I would just probably use some sort of I like the old vintage style fender saddles, like the ones that are wavy. Um, Me's Paul, good talking to you, bro. Thanks for sticking around. Um, Pickups, um, I'm not really too picky on. Um, just something decent, something better than what's in there, and they're bad. Which I've got two uh, kind of lawsuit era Telecasters, and the pickups in those sound awesome. But this early '90s Korean Lotus, it's the pickups don't sound great at all. Um, I don't know if it's the pickups or if it's just all the cheap like pots and all that kind of stuff in it. And the wiring is really cheap. Um, so y'all be good. Later, Instagram. Um, yeah, Kyle. I was just talking to a guy, buddy of mine, Bert. He was talking about buying some kind of real boutiquey pickup for his Telecaster, and I've heard some cheap ones that sound really good. I actually put a set in a Strat I've got, but I kind of want to repaint it. I haven't repainted it yet though. It's blue. I need to put all my guitars back together. I've got a lot of parts casters that are just like necks laying around, bodies laying around, pick guards laying around. I need to work on my soldering skills. But anywho, y'all be good. I'll talk to y'all a little later on. If you're looking for baits, I'm gonna do a limit them to two. Uh, Two per customer because they'll be priced for Black Friday. All right, y'all be good. See you this afternoon. They'll go up. Actually, they're about to go up. Maybe in a few minutes when I go take pictures. So we'll see y'all.